But then most of it... What else? That's true. What else? Yes, it's as I feel. Let me ask you this. Did you happen... And did you... I see. Because I've seen her before. What? Please, go and... Help!
Stop, right? Thank.
Sometimes I stare at the great temple on the bluff, and I think, whatever is in there, it has to be
No,
important.
I did. I think I have seen that plaque. Sorry, I lied. Can't be too careful these days. Oh. You didn't get that?
Welcome back. Well, Cynthia seems to know my... Well, alright. Nice.
What now? All right.
I take... Follow, but don't follow too close. Feeling all... That's a... All right, you're here. You were asking how I... Here, look down at... If only we could see. Oh, what a marvelous lamp. It's just as you described it. Charon, Charon, who, in exchange for the right coin...
When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, but all I found was some loose change.
There are a bunch of old stories about the gods punishing people by making them do the same futile task over and over. But, on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm afraid so. All these people whose love... It seems none of them escaped. It also tells us that the Golden Rule is the work of Pluto, the god of the underworld, and why his epithet has... I know it's a lot to take in, and you look as if... That was my first thought too. But it was also possible for the living to reach... Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting you're not... Each of them is slightly different. Whether the storyteller was... But they always involved the souls of the dead. It was said that he'd help the new arrival cross. That's why it was once our custom to bury our loved... Of course. To be fair, the ferryman isn't exactly as the poets described, and you say and I once heard Kabash mention a stranger in a ram headdress, and Rufius described meeting a stranger named, but whatever form this stranger took, they were always wearing I suspect, the only... Good question. Let's see, but that never made any sense to me. In our case, it seems Charon didn't take the coins we had. He or she merely checked we had. So, maybe there's something special. No. I mean, I had my Now that we know where we are, we don't have much to go on, except the old Hercules, the demigod and son of Jupiter, Orpheus, a Thracian poet, Sisyphus, a king of Ephyra, and Aeneas, a Trojan. Hercules was able to leave the underworld because he cowed. Sisyphus and Orpheus both relied on their wits instead. They persuaded the goddess of the underworld, and finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help. So it seems you have two options: to confront the god of... All Romans try to avoid saying it. You may refer to him as Pluto, if you wish, but you'll only be calling attention. Shh! It's everyone's... That option would be the boldest. As I said, Hercules managed to overpower the god of the underworld, but he was a demigod. Are you telling me? I won't pretend to understand exactly what that... So, if you... Who knows? Perhaps your name... But first, you'd need an audience with you-know-who. The problem is, the door has been sealed. I suspect the answer lies in the desecrated It looks as though somebody, or a series of somebodies, forcibly... If you could recover and replace all... It's the towering stone monument with four You'll find them all over Rome. But of course they were looted from Egypt. However, this one is unusual in that That means you'll need to recover 4 different I don't know. But perhaps Perhaps Kabash, our Egyptian... But I did hear Aurelia is peddling rumors about him. I'm afraid you're on your own with that. As I mentioned, both Orpheus and Sisyphus were said to have persuaded Proserpina. The problem is, those are the stories of a poet. First, Proserpina. It's said, the god of the underworld abducted. If the stories are true, the problem is, how? Leaving that aside for a moment. Truly? Then again, I suppose you were worried I'd think you... Can you tell me more? Fascinating. Perhaps she's... If she has indeed been abducted, tell me, has she told... Oh, I see. Well... All right. As for Livia, it seems she's been shouldering the weight of this terrible secret, all this... In any case, may Fortuna guide you.
Ah, it's you again. Oh, and I'm in the running for magistrate. Feeling kind of nervous. Now. But from what I hear, maybe... He did? Oh, I'll let Equitia know. All right.
just as the ocean, but it... Say it. Then it is true. I thought I saw it, but I had to tell myself it was true over and over again. I must apologize if my words seem cryptic. He gives such an uncanny description of this place. I will do my best. There is a downward path, gloomy with fatal yew trees. It leads through dumb silence to the infernal region. The sluggish Styx exhales vapor, and by that way, the wide, thorny waste is cold and pallid, and the newly arrived shades are ignorant of the road. As the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this place accepts all the souls. There the bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone. Some others follow their trades, imitating their previous lives. I hope I have done, and now we share a secret. It's as if you've... Friend, you have given me hope. May you
Wow, isn't that a big lot? Back again. Not for a few weeks now. Last time I saw him, I remember because they kept looking over their The one word I kept hearing was... All right.
Welcome to my Camby store. Greetings. I'm Georgius. And in a city full of Romans you are asking me? Because I am Greek. Let me tell you, my name is Georgios, yes. But the Romans, they do not care. They hear me say Georgios and they think, he must mean Georgius. Good Roman. They do this all the time. They see us worshipping Zeus, they copy us, but call him Jupiter. They take... I am flattered that they copy our ideas, but why must they change the name? At first, I pull my hair out. After a while, I give up, and I become Georgius the Roman. But my point is this. If you want to know who stole an old Greek, the plague you seek was pilfered from a collection of old Greek relics. He cannot help it. Like a typical Roman, he likes, and besides, it makes him happy. So I say, let him keep it. I believe he still has it with him, in his... I knew this day would come. I do not wish... Please, let us... Very well, but the magistrate, for several months, each day, I leave offerings of food, in the hope that we may have a bountiful harvest. The offering, it is symbolic use, so I ask, who? Stranger still. Once I sat in front of my shop like the 100-eyed Argus until dawn to nothing! Nobody entered. And yet when I told my friend Kabash of this at the tavern, he offered to help investigate. It is the only Greek temple in the city. Head towards the baths, and it is the last building. I do not think you should but you do not strike me as a kind of person.
Hello? Hello? Do you like it? Well... Like... Yeah, Gillette. Bye-bye.
visitor. Welcome, welcome. It's a sincere... Tell me. Ah, Kabash. I will tell you everything I know. But first, the one thing I long for above all else before I die. Let us find out with this simple question. Excellent. I see you are indeed quite astute. Very few... Now, will you join me in a... Wonderful. Would you say you know the difference? You are an overthinker too. We're the same then. But if you struggle with right and wrong normally, then down here with the golden... Well, that's reassuring. And the truth you see out there in the world, being uncertain about right and wrong. So we would tell lies and bend rules and turn a blind eye. But under the golden rule, morality matters. The slightest wrongdoing could result in a mass. So to navigate this maze, we would have to be certain. That is an excellent question, and it leads... So let me ask you this. Is there one system of morality which is always perfectly... Are you sure? Or is it So is it up to each of us to decide what right and wrong mean to us? So if a man feels that stoning to death his unfaithful wife... I agree, but what? I see. So you get to decide right from wrong. Empathy, the emotion? Let me ask you this. Knowing there will be no legal consequences, a high-minded ideal, but I'm not. Our empathy, like a siren song caught, can such a beguiling thing be a reliable cornerstone for anything? My point is this. I don't think anyone alive truly knows any Surely you would agree there are circumstances where an exception may be. For any rule you can imagine, there are countless situations. If there is one thing I have observed about rules, and so we must accept our limitations, and the sad truth that in mathematics we would call it an asymptote, a line that can be, because the only way to create a utopia is with the this and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs, and life under tyranny is... I'm glad to hear. In any case, thank you for... You mean, how did I end up living alone in this cave with nothing? I was a quarrelsome young man. At 19, I left Corinth for Rome to study rhetoric at one of her finest. Back then, I used to enjoy verbally sparring with everyone I could. It became heated. He drew a gladius, and I won the I woke up on the banks of the Styx at a campfire opposite Karen. Of course, I settled in, made friends, and learned what I could. Quickly realized, so I began looking for a place to hide underground. Fortunately, I found this. I returned to my friends above, persuaded them to join me, and 12 of us. They are one and the same. The Romans call him Plut. I fear that if you were to utter my name in the city, even by my generation was wiped out, turned to gold. I think it's safest to assume that if I was to return, Hades would realize that his furies hadn't. I'm afraid I am the only one left. Some from malnutrition. It has been lonely. Before my unexpected visit from... Living in darkness is not without its challenges. The first challenge is... And sometimes, when there are Greek people living up above, I serve. The greater challenge is the isolation. So I like to imagine like so many things in life. As you would. Ha! If I... Did we not discuss it at length already? You seek the plaque bearing the Egyptian inscription. It is a cursed object. I will tell you, but you may find him hostile. To prepare for your... Very few know this, but before the Romans came to this city, it was once entire... When the Romans came, in typical fashion, they claimed it as their own. Thus, the shrine of Persephone became the... And when they found an obelisk bearing the name Hades, they tore it off and replaced... And the city's dwindling Greek residents, witnessing this compulsive Roman conquest, they gathered their art and valuables, secreted them away through the temple. However, there was one thing that always seemed out of... An even older plaque bearing it. We had no idea until years. As a result of their deaths, we began to dig catacombs branching off from the... We extended the tunnel so far that we accidentally discovered another. Suddenly it made sense why there was an out-of-place Egyptian. You see, we proud Greeks had thought the Romans... But it turns out this game has been good. I think it is best you head through the... I assure you it is not. Although, take this key. You'll need... I enjoyed our chat. Ah, you've returned. Ah, you've returned.
Stop! Do not come any closer. Who are you? I am Kabash. And let me guess, another Greek or Roman come to loot and plunder the resting place of my ancestors, Trousers, boots, curious here. No, I suppose you do not. Then what do you want? To what end? That is welcome news. You really are not Greek or Roman, are you? I was planning to return it myself, but for now, I must remain. Here, take it, and restore the honor of Osiris. Now, Indeed, I stumbled across a collection of dusty curiosities while searching for a place to hide from the hungry children of Amit, and there it was. You may not. In fact, I am about to destroy it. Because it speaks a treacherous, blasphemous lie. I will tell you, but first, do you know what this place is? It has a name, and that is the Duat. See what has become of it. I have been down here for weeks, piecing together its story, and here is what I have learned. As Egypt declined and the Greeks had their turn to flourish, their souls came here in great numbers, but instead of adopting our ways, they copied and corrupted them. When they found the obelisk bearing the name Osiris, the true god of the underworld, they desecrated it, removing his name and replacing it with Hades. Even the ferryman of the dead, known to my people long before as Kerti, they renamed to Keron. As if that desecration was not enough, they built over this place, using it as the foundation for their own underworld, so that ours was forgotten. My only solace is that the Greeks then suffered the same fate when the Romans rose to power, renaming Hades to Pluto, and the cycle began anew. I am glad to hear it, which brings me to this other, fourth plaque. It is inscribed with a script I do not recognize, but it is ancient, almost as if it is older than the plaque bearing Osiris's name. But if that is so, it would imply the gods of Egypt are mere imitations too, copied and corrupted from an ancient people who prospered even before us, and that my people did to them what the Greeks and Romans did to us. But this, I cannot accept. I sense a deception. Perhaps it is the work of Set, the usurper, seeking to undermine Osiris once more. You will never know. This work of sacrilege must be destroyed. You are too late. It is done. You would plunge into the depths. You again. What? I am from Rakotis, which you may know as Alexandria, the name of the city since the Romans had taken over from the Greeks. When the fires broke out last year, I tried to help. On my 7th trip, a passenger demanded I wait for his brother. I told him his brother would have to save himself, and he tried to bribe me by placing a coin into my hand. I awoke on the banks of the river to a stranger wearing a... It did not dawn on me until much later. I think if someone is to break the golden rule, do to the doer to... As for the punishment that will come from it, I finally understand why it has long been... This is where I belong, as caretaker of the memory. I do not know what could possibly lie beneath the underworld. All I know is everyone so contrary where you are from? Good. Wait. You would plunge in... When I told you that you would not find a way back up, that was not a prediction. That was a promise. You will die here. I disagree. I warned you against coming down here. You have undermined and Very well, I will listen. But why should I let you live after... That may be true of many things, but this is different. If our gods work, does that not mean our prayers to our gods? Now that I think about it, my people would sometimes call Osiris the god of many names. Perhaps it is so. But the underworld of my people is so different to this one, and so unlike the way it was described by our priests. Many of my ancestors endured great hardship to live good lives so that we may descend to the Duat in death and be judged accordingly. We prepare to have our hearts weighed on Anubis' scales and to swear ourselves innocent of sin before the 42 assessors of Ma'at. And yet, I arrive here to find the Book of the Dead contained only a seed of truth. And now I ask myself, did our priests steal and embellish the stories of an older people and feed us lies all our lives simply to trick us into obedience? I am not sure I follow. Speak plainly. Perhaps there is some truth in that. What is your point? You are persuasive. Very well. I will let you live, and you may do what you will with that plaque. I will remain here for a while, and attempt to learn what I can about the foundations of my people's beliefs. Go.
You carry the gift of Prometheus in your hand. Remarkable to see you again, friend. I enjoy...
Ave again. Did you... Certain. May...
Be careful who you trust. Oh,
I hope you have a good reason for... We're finally alone. We have? I must... Is that about... Ah, look, it's unfortunate. But all now, I assume you... Ask them. Good. Of course. Well, if you stopped one person from breaking it, allow me to explain. When I discovered the crux of it is this. If you do anything to change to illustrate, when the golden rule is broken, if you manage to succeed in saving our lives, the same thing would happen if you, say, inadvertently, allow... If either of those things were to happen, I am given to understand you would be flung back to your original time, having changed the course of history for us. So the fact that you are still here means someone is going to break the golden rule. Excellent. It looks like you'll have to continue your... Sextus Sentius Imperiosus is my name, though magistrate is the proper way to address. Before I wound up here, I was a decurion in the cavalry of... It's a cavalry officer. I had 30... As magistrate, I usually wear a toga, but today I may need to... Very... Thank... Don't be so foolish. Allow me to explain. The crux to it, if you... The same... If I... Indeed. Thank you. I'll...
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh. Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fray. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al. Well, here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Funny you should ask. I was just reading an old tablet I found here. Well, trying. My Latin described an event about 2,000 years ago and murdered a local magistrate. It said that the voice of a furious god rang out, and the ground trembled and apparently, as the citizens screamed and... What? You're saying you were here... let me see that. God, why does this writing look so familiar? I've spent a lifetime... This is... So you're saying, because a man from 2,000 years ago is dead, he never created a time portal, so I never went through it, and... I guess... So to let me die all over again. You saw the tablet. I can't see how I could possibly... Seems like we're both gonna... How can you say you murdered a man in cold blood? And now there's a city. I guess all those old Latin men script, pro peccata unius, the many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
That's quite an impressive bow you have there. Just like Diana's.
Be careful who you... Laura.
All of it. It must be. It'll be. Why do you... As I... Yes, very well. Citizens, it is time. Let us meet to elect our magistrate. Citizens, we have a quorate body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus nominee, Gallus Galerius Helver, Marcus Malleolus Gurges, withdrew his candidacy earlier today. As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots, and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Sendius.
Dacius.
Sentius.
Virgil.
Sentius.
Ulpius.
Galerius, the man who saved my life.
Rufius.
Malleolus.
Citizens, you have made your decision. Sextus Sentius Imperiosus.
My fellow citizens, you've placed your trust in me once again, and you won't regret it. I vow that each day henceforth will be just like this one, and I will deliver.
You and your rival, whatever your name is, you're responsible for this, aren't you? Nobody likes Caput Murday foreigners interfering in an election.
Shut up and let the magistrate speak.
Malleolus is gonna be magistrate by the end of the day.
You have no idea what you're doing. You're going to get us all killed.
Just stay out of our way, and we won't have a problem.
Wait, I will not allow you to do this.
You're showing your true colors now, priestess. Your corruption sickens me. Domitius, ignore her. Proceed.
This is insanity. You'll doom us all.
Lies. It is time the Golden Rule was exposed for what it is. A children's fable, exploited by a treacherous leader to instill fear in all of us.
The Golden Rule is real, you idiot.
Shut up, all of you. The magistrate has spoken. I'm going to enjoy killing you, old man.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
You look well, my sir. Hey, my friend. Truly, my imagination runs wild. But if what you say is true, I will have to satisfy. Should I stop my offerings? Very well. Now... Sendius, I suppose. I wouldn't say I hold him. Nothing. I hope...
Ave. Citizens, it is time.
friend. You...
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Salve. Huh? Poor Virgil. You? What? Are you? You're serious, aren't you? All right, let me see. Stop Fabia going in. I'll go.
Oh! All weapons are to be tossed into the chasm. Magistrate's orders.
Whatever are you wearing? Oh, I wish Horatius would stop. I'm Sentia, eldest daughter of the magistrate. What are you doing? Really? I'd never have noticed, what with your flawless accent, appropriate attire. Now, remind me, what? Ugh, what is it with you people? You heard? Well, that's just a stupid rumor. We have... I don't know. Can you? Can you tell me how a person could have disappeared from a city with no exit? It was 3 weeks ago. We ate our evening meal together, and I remember she seemed happy. In love. We went into our rooms, I went to sleep, and when I woke up, she was gone. That's it. I think so, yes. But she was very careful about keeping his identity a secret, even from me. Because our father had plans to marry her off, eventually, and even a rumor about her attachment to some mystery man might have ruined those plans. That doesn't surprise me. To him, it was like a prize cow wandering off from its paddock. He's upset, of course, but he says he's too busy with the election to help look for her, so he's letting Horatius do the heavy lifting. Some good that's done. I don't know, but it's been 3 weeks since she disappeared, and all I know is, whoever he... You really aren't from here, are you? All Roman women are named after their fathers. I think it's their way of branding us, like cattle to be sold at market. His family name is Sentius, so I'm Sentia because I'm the eldest, and my little sister is formerly Sentia Minor, but she is affectionately known as Sentilla. Why? Because I'm on this couch and not pacing about the villa, wasting energy. I hope you're not insinuating I'm somehow... Ugh, you're awful. Get out of my villa and...
We're finally alone. Is that... Seems rather... Of course. Well, allow me to... The crux of it is that so... Excellent. It looks... Of course. Yeah. Why do you say that? What? I'm speechless. How do you know? Of course, this isn't your first loop, is it? Well then, you must stop him from winning the election. I expect you'll need some kind of leverage. I can't be seen to be involved in this, of course. You'd better not waste any... Good. Ask them. Good. Of course. Yeah. Why? What? Good.
Oh, don't mind me. I just live here.
Keep an eye out for Sentilla, would you? What is it, sir? All right.
Malleola. What?
Dimitri. Look, if I had a Roman plaque in my possession... And I like... Well... Unlike... You... I trust you.
Don't believe a word they tell you.
I just had a change of heart.
Were you on track to be magistrate, sir? All that work, all that money wasted.
Thank you.
Who are you? Did he send you? And do you know you're here? You have to help. I'm Scintilla. I found a way out through the Gate of Horn, but it's locked. So I told him about it, and instead of helping me escape, he locked me up. He wants to keep us all here forever, or until we're turned to gold. He's a monster. You have to let me go so we can kill him and take his key. Sentius, my adoptive father. Furies help me. I'll castrate and crucify him. I don't know. He said the gods are on his side because they don't want us to escape either. Behind me, there's an aqueduct tunnel bringing water from outside the city. The only problem is it's barred by a heavy locked gate. I'm going to take that key from her. I'm done caring about the Golden Rule. There won't be enough time. There's no time. Wait. Oh, thank you. Now he's here. You distract him. Stay right here and keep him talking while I look for something I can use.
What did you do with Scintilla? Where is she? So that is how it's going to be. It's a shame, really. You'd have been looping through time forever until you gave up and killed yourself. Just like that soft-hearted pleb, Al. Come now. Surely you didn't. You see, my connection to the portal somehow preserves my memories from one. But I'm surprised you hadn't noticed. Here I was thinking you were a little bit sharp. He was a moralistic fellow. And because of that fatal flaw, He relived this day. I watched him come through the portal each time, always a little older, a little more disheveled. And when he finally saw the futility of it all, as you're about to, it broke him. He drank a jug of wine. The next time I awoke, you showed up. But I'd have preferred if you'd given me more time to enjoy the trappings of my success. Just the 7, not a lot compared with Al, but in any case, there's no escape for you except the path that Al took, the path he wrote about. Better to end it all now. So, you discovered my secret. So what? What are you going to do about it? Isn't it obvious? Because I have grown attached to all this. My title, my beautiful villa, the sun on my face, the music of birds chirping. And as long as this day keeps repeating itself, I get to enjoy it all, over and over again, for eternity. Don't you see? I have found a way to prolong my life indefinitely, to cheat death. I have become, in effect, as immortal as the gods. Can you honestly say you would not wish the same for yourself? Of course. There's no way you could have succeeded. Every soul who has ever found themselves here has broken the golden rule eventually. It is inevitable. Man will always sin sooner or later. Any idiot could tell you this, but where others might see tragedy, I saw opportunity. As I told you the first time we met, I found a way to cheat death by reliving the same day over and over again forever. And I will continue living long after your dust. Do you really think you can take on a Decurion with that flimsy little bow? Who? Scintilla? Where is she?
I'm right here, Father.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Come on, we have to go. Hey, what's happening to you? That light, it's so bright.
Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fray. Well, here I am. Funny you should... I was just reading an old tablet I found here. Well, it described an event about 2,000 years ago. Freed an imprisoned woman named Scintilla, who then murdered her captor. It said the attack caused golden statues to... Apparently, the only person to survive was Scintilla. What? God, why did I've spent a life... This is... So you're saying, because a man from 2000... I guess you saved my life then, as well as help... Maybe we can escape through the same aqueduct Scintilla used. I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody... You go on it.
But you're alone. Does that mean you didn't find Al? Oh, what a relief. Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered while we wait? Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions. You can just call me Caroline, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely honest with you when we first met. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned, from 5,000 years of experience, that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in their own time. That you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living to the land of the dead. Usually, when people do not remember how they died, it is because they suffered a terrible trauma. Most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly, do you really want to know? As you wish. You were murdered. You made a purchase in a marketplace, and the change you received was, by mistake, a single silver coin of ancient origin. You were seen inspecting it, and soon after, you were set upon by 2 thieves. The shopkeeper who had given you the coin saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your aid. You both fought bravely, but your assailants were armed, and you were not. There was nothing you or your ally could have done. He died instantly at the scene, and you followed a few hours later. That man's name was Al Worth. You were each in possession of a sacred coin, called Charon's Opal by some, and so it was my duty to bring you here. Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouths, to pay the ferrymen for passage across the river. Well, those stories contained a seed of truth, but not any coin would do. A long time ago, my master created 1,000 silver coins and had me distribute them across the world. My orders were simple. Whenever a person died in possession of a coin, I was to locate them and ferry them here. That is a question you would have to ask him, if that were still possible, in light of the path you have chosen. I am just his servant, doing his bidding. Only now, I find myself bereft of purpose. You see, the coins on you and Al were the last of the 1,000 in existence. There is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course. I see no point in keeping you here, but I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself. Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an event 2,000 years ago. Supposedly, the city was destroyed when a woman murdered a tyrant with the help of, well, my new friend here. I know how crazy that sounds.
Maybe not that crazy. That woman. I don't suppose her name was Scintilla?
How could you... What?
She left a tablet of her own. I stumbled across it while I was waiting here. I think she meant for you to read it. Here, take a look.
I don't know what became of you, or if you'll ever read this, but I want you to know that I will never forget you.
or what you did for me. It pains me that so many dear friends were not so fortunate. Ulpius, Sentia, Lucretia, Horatius, Galerius, poor Dooley, and...
Sounds like you meant a lot to her. I'd love to hear your story, but first, you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
You! I'm... I don't... Behind the... I'm... There was... What? No! I hate you. I spit on you.
Leave.
Oi! How did you get in there?
Keep an eye out for
Citizen. Of course. What is it? Yes? Why do you say that? What? I can't be... You'd better not waste any time. And miss... Good.
On your best behavior, I trust?
Isn't the great temple menu? See?
Ah, A fellow traveler. Great. Galerius. Did you know he saved the... But...
It'll be between... Why do you... As... Very well.
Citizens, it is time. Let us meet to elect our magistrate.
Time to go to the theater.
Hello? Hello? He said he gave me this all over. Go.